Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Today we are going to start this video by remembering those that perished in the 2020 massacre. Yeah, the November 2020 massacre. During those presidential campaigns, I remember I was following this online because I just arrived here. I was just like almost making a year. I just made a year here in the US. And it was one of the most depressing moments that I've ever had in my life. So today we are going to take a moment to remember, read out what people are saying in commemoration of the 18th and 19th November massacre. Yes, you remember that time when the National Unity Platform presidential flag bearer Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu was arrested while campaigning in Luka by Ugandans demanding for his release, protesting, lawfully protesting. Yeah, the police and military, as well as the SFC. I think the SFC, most especially, they responded by firing live bullets. Yes, firing live bullets and unaliving so many people. They say only 50 died or 70, I think, but a lot more people lost their lives in that particular massacre. I would like to also, of course, talk about the political prisoners because today is Friday and Friday is set aside for political prisoners. But before I get really into what the spokesperson of the National Unity Platform said in commemoration of another year since these innocent people lost their lives, I would like to take a moment to ask you to subscribe. This is the Uganda Awakening. The purpose of this channel is to remind you that so many people are waking up. So many people have woken up. So many people have come to realize that 40 years of the NRM rule under Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his dictatorship has purely been years of deception where many people have been kept in ignorance, in the dark, while everything that we hold so dear as a country, our land being grabbed, corruption filtering through almost every aspect of our lives, not just the government officials, but it is like normalized to be corrupt in Uganda. Yes, and of course, not to mention the institutions of our country, all in the armpits of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Yeah. Democracy for him seems to be another box to tick off to appease the international community that Uganda is really democratic. Yeah, that is why this channel exists, to remind us, to encourage us to keep waking up and becoming courageous to stand up against this impunity. Yeah, that is pretty much what it is. We are almost 1,000, and I think I am recording this video with the channel having 863 subscribers. So maybe by the time the video is posted, it will be 1,000. I promise that at 1,000 subscribers, I will create a video of getting to know me. Who am I? Andrew Omofirika. Guess my name. What was my name originally before I changed my name to Andrew Omofirika? Yeah, write it in the comments. So let's get right into it. It's a long introduction, so pardon me. I'm going to start with the tribute from the spokesperson of the National Unity Platform, Joel Ssenyonyi, who is also the leader of opposition in parliament. This is what he said. Today we held memorial prayers for the victims of the November 18th and 19th, 2020 massacre. We were joined by some of the bereaved families, which continue to demand for justice from the state for their loved ones who were butchered indiscriminate unaliving of people, most of whom were going about their business, is something that should never be swept under the carpet. Justice will be served. Someday, the culprits will be brought to book. Let me go into the comment section about this before I share my take. Kibuka Henry in the comment says, they will be on our hearts forever. Yeah, they will be in our hearts forever. We will always remember you. That is Emmanuel. Fight hard, comrades. Fight hard. Temumula mpakanga Uganda mpya. Yeah, the late Ssenyonyi popularized that term. Before he passed away, he said that never say to me that rest in peace. Continue telling me that fight hard, Mr. Update. He used to call himself Mr. Update. So that's how Ugandans are responding. Bannange nga kitalo nnyo Mukama agumye families zaabwe. Yeah, someone said that may God continue to protect their families and may they continue resting in peace. It was really sad. I remember it quite vividly. It was one of the times that I felt the most helpless because you're following all these updates on social media and everything feels like so unreal, but you can relate to it because you know that this government is so brutal. I remember when the Kabaka of Buganda, the king of Buganda, was denied access to Kayunga. And I remember having to flee Kampala city because the military was out in droves, cracking down on all the protests. To be fair, if in that moment the main objective was to overthrow the government, that is, I believe, the moment Museveni was supposed to go. Today, we reapplied for bail for 11 National Unity Platform leaders and supporters at Kawempe Magistrate Court in Kanyanya because they are now qualified for mandatory bail, having spent over 60 days in jail without trial under the magistrate's court. Some of them are in desperate need of medical attention, which can only be accessed outside of jail. Court will deliver its ruling on the 5th of December. Now, I remember watching a video of Joel Ssenyonyi. One of the tactics that they use during these sessions is to surround court with military and armored vehicles, making it impossible for the sureties of these individuals to access court. Then the state attorney goes even further by alluding to the fact that there is no problem for the military surrounding court because there are terrorism threats. And in this case, the military has to make it very clear that there is no leeway for terrorists to attack the court. So, of course, that's an excuse. They use it as a tactic, making it impossible for sureties to access the courtroom so that they can really help in granting bail to our brothers and sisters. Continue praying for them. Eddie Mutwe, Akileo, Olivia Rutaya is also now back in court. Like, there are so many political prisoners that are unfortunately being held with such impunity. And of course, not forgetting Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro. Yeah, Mufumbiro. Let me look into the comments. What are people saying about this? What are people saying about this on the post? Those are not courts of law, rather NRM tribunals. Yeah, I can't agree more with that. Like, that is crazy. It is very true. Whereas Article 23 provides for automatic bail, but remember, it's not automatic, but at the discretion of court. This person literally calls himself Jesus Cares. I wonder what is wrong with apologists. Anyway, another person goes, stay strong, comrades, never give up. The struggle continues. Thank you, Honorable, for always standing tall for our comrades. Yeah, to be honest, this Mr. Joel Ssenyonyi, I have to commend him for this because he has so much work to do. He's literally the leader of opposition in parliament. But like the Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, David Louis Lubongoya, is always 10 feet, 10 toes on the ground. So let's get into the video in which he gives his submission. Part of it is a long video. I don't want this video to be so long. Yeah, let's get right into it.
The point I was making, State did say that most of the accused persons hold high positions in the National Unity Platform. That's not true, Your Honor. That's misleading. The only person who holds, in fact, a deputorial position in NUP is A8, who is the deputy spokesperson of the National Unity Platform. So I don't know where State gets that from, that most of these accused persons hold high positions in NUP. Your Honor, away from this, I'm the spokesperson of NUP. I don't know about any of these other accused persons holding a high position, as has been alleged by State. And that's what I'm calling misleading, Your Honor. And finally, Your Honor, the concern by State regarding insecurity and that if these accused persons are released on bail, they will jeopardize the case and so on. Your Honor, that presupposes that these persons have been found guilty. We are not at that stage, and I'm certain we will not get to that stage. Article 28, 3A of our country's constitution advocates it very clearly that anybody that gets to stand in this dock like these accused persons are standing is innocent until they concede that they are guilty or until eventually court finds them guilty. None of that has happened, Your Honor. These are innocent people, according to Article 28, 3A. And that's why we are here to say, let them be granted bail. Your Honor, these are honorable members of society. A number of them have previously been released by court on bail until the state lost interest in those cases. And never did any of them flout their bail conditions. Never did they.
There you have it. This is what happens when institutions are in the armpits of the president. This man's submission is as transparent as possible. It is all rooted in what is supposed to be happening according to the Constitution. Even if all these people were leaders, were having high leadership positions in the National Unity Platform, that does not mean that they should not be guaranteed bail. That does not mean that they are guilty of any crime. Because the National Unity Platform is a political party. It is not a rebel outfit. Them holding any high position in the National Unity Platform, despite the fact, of course, that the state allegations were wrong, that does not mean that they are guilty of any crime. As Joel Ssenyonyi has stated, that them being a security threat is an exaggeration, because some of these individuals have been in custody before and were granted bail, which means that during that time, they were never a security threat. They were never found guilty of any of those crimes, even before when they were held with the same trumped up charges that we are already witnessing. Continue praying for our comrades. What do you think about the commemoration of the November individuals that perished, as well as the political prisoners? What do you think is the way forward? Let me know in the comment section, because I know that this video has been one of those sad videos, but there are so many important factors that we cannot sweep under the carpet, especially if we want to have a country that prioritizes justice and rule of law. Let me know. We'll talk again next time. See you guys. Thanks, and continue subscribing. Bye.